I know, it's too early for this shit. Anyway, woke up this morning, had an epiphany of what's wrong with this LeMans. 6:30 in the morning, and this is what I'm thinking about. Driving down the road, died on us, fuel coming out everywhere, all over the carburetor. The carburetor's probably shot, whatever. We're going to swap it out, put a 4-barrel on it. Don't feel like doing that today, so figured there's something wrong with this carburetor. What could it be? I'm going to pull it off. I think the floats are stuck. That's probably why it's dumping fuel. So that's what I'm doing today. So maybe you guys want to join me and watch how this goes. All right, people, this is what we got. 1966 Pontiac LeMans, stock 326, 2-barrel carburetor. Let's see, aftermarket power steering on there. Everything's pretty much stock, so single barrel. Brake master cylinder. It does have HEI ignition, so I got that going for it. But what it does not have going for it is carburetor. Carburetor's an old 2-barrel. Pretty economical back in the day. So we're gonna take this air cleaner off. Cha-ching. And that's what we got. So driving down the road, started flooding out, fuel coming out everywhere. The butterflies were not stuck open. Nothing crazy with not the return spring, but there was fuel coming out right here on the rod. It goes through to the butterflies. So, and it smelled like fuel. So what we're assuming, which I woke up and decided is wrong with it, is I think the float is sticking, causing it to just constantly flood it with fuel. So today, I don't know if I should even mess with it, but I'm going to. We were going to do a 4-barrel swap. Got the intake manifold and a 4-barrel for it, but I think I'm going to try to get it running first. I want to make sure that there is spark and everything, and that it is the carburetor. So I am going to do that and come back to you. All right, here we go. I think I'll set that here. I feel like it's shaking off. So I'm gonna check, see if this beast has any spark. It's been sitting all night. It was flooded last night, so easiest way to check is see if the beast maybe starts. We'll see. Oh, that'd be easy if it starts. Then it's got spark, and we just got carb issues. So let's start there. Come on, baby. Yep, backfiring. Cool. She's got spark. So everything's good. You see that little bit of flame? That was pretty rad. Don't want to keep it running. It doesn't have a spark arrestor or air cleaner on it. Yeah, I'm sure it's carburetor at this point. So we are going to pull this baby off. Problem is, even if I adjust the floats, or the float, let's see, is there an external way? I'm gonna have to replace this carburetor gasket right here. And getting that, I don't have faith in my local parts stores. So before I go any further and do that, I think I'm gonna try to find a gasket before I start pulling it apart. So if I don't find one, then guess what? This intake's coming off. Yeah, it should be pretty easy. Intake's coming off, carburetor's coming off, and we are going to replace it with the Edelbrock intake manifold. I think it's an Edelbrock Performer intake manifold and a 1406 Edelbrock electric choke carburetor, which that I will also have to adjust the floats on before I install it. But that's where we're at this morning. Cool. All right, guys. So that spark and beast backfired on me and did turn over and started, but backfired on me when I got her going. What I'm gonna do, since we got a couple more minutes before the parts store opens, I'm gonna see who's got a full rebuild kit for this carburetor, because I need this base gasket, I need the float bowl gasket. Looks like I need a new air cleaner gasket. Yeah, that's gross. Probably put a new fuel filter in there to adjust the floats, take care of that, check the jets. I don't know, but I got a couple minutes before the parts store opens, so I am going to put the return spring back on, put the air cleaner back on, and get her up and running and see how long it takes for her to flood out. If she does it again, maybe it was just a happenstance. I don't know if that's the right word, but it just, maybe that float just stuck momentarily. Maybe it's fixed itself and get it running today, but it's going to be an issue again, so we're going to have to deal with it. But I'm going to go ahead and get her running. So let's put this air cleaner back on. Good morning, Z. Hi, Maisie. Hi, guys. I wish they could hold the camera. Oh, bad. Okay, let's dial that in. Put this on. I don't know if it's going to start again, honestly. It was backfiring. I don't need that. I'm going to do it because I will lose this thing. Freaking wing nuts. All right, let's start it. Of course, I didn't leave the keys in it. Oh, it's going to flood again. I don't know why I'm pumping the gas. Yeah, cool. Right, means it's flooded. All right, this is where we're at. Called the parts store. They've got a rebuild kit for a 2-barrel Rochester carburetor for a 66 LeMans, the 385C part number. And he says it's on the shelf, so I'm gonna go ahead and go forward with checking out this carb. So I already disconnected the throttle cable. Get these return springs off. Those are off. Four bolts, one nut. So you got a stud there, base bolt, another bolt over here. I got one more I gotta take out. We're gonna disconnect the fuel inlet. This is a heat riser for the choke. Everything took a 1/2 inch, so that's why I love. Oh shit. Well, see what happens when you move stuff. Right there. It was old and ready to go. So now I gotta figure out how to get that back in there, but we will figure it out once we get there. So we're gonna take this last bolt out here. Come on, baby. Long-winded. And disconnect the fuel line. But there she goes. She's off. Oh, that base gasket looks good. That's a good sign. Ooh, fuel's leaking. All right, guys. Get this fuel line disconnected and turn her over and take a look. All right, so I'm taking this beast apart. We disconnected the throttle levers, the choke mechanism is disconnected. Got the bolts out. Little tiny pieces, so try to keep your workstation clean. We're gonna take this off here, and I was suspecting it's the float, and if it's an old brass float, it's one thing, but I think it's neoprene. Yep. All right, this is our, look at our float. It's disintegrating, so we got some issues in here. Oh, look at that, there's a piece of it down there. Easy peasy. Nah, I say that now, but never say that you don't know what you got going on. Anyway, that's where we're at. We're going to go ahead and replace this float, adjust it. Might as well rebuild the thing. I just hate fixing stuff that's not broken, but this is definitely broken, and that is our problem why the baby's flooding out. So, all right, we'll go down to the parts store and grab our parts kit or rebuild kit and get her done. All right, guys and gals, this is where we're at. We opened her up, cracked the beast in half, and turned her over. Found the float mechanism is deteriorated. Big chunk of it is laying in the bottom here. We've got a lot of debris in there, so that's going to take some carb cleaner, any kind of good carb cleaner, clean it out really good. We'll need a hose to the little stick hose that you spray with to get down in those jets, clean them out. Here's the accelerator pump. We'll probably clean out as much as we can. I think this has been rebuilt before. I'm not 100% sure, but the gasket looked pretty good. Burnt there though. I am wondering why. I don't know why it looks the way it does, but I'll figure it out. Anyway, trying to find a float for this 66 Rochester 2-barrel, and it looks like 66 and 67 might be different. So I found one for a 67. That's a standard part number FL38. For a 66, standard didn't have one, so I think we're going with Walker. It's 100-94, but that one is not readily available. So we are going to take this beast down and compare it to the 67 and see what changed. The carb kit's the same. Float is not included in the carb kit, so we've got to find the float. That is my next little venture here. If I don't find it, guess what? Yep, not excited about this, but it's gonna have to happen. All right, that's where we're at. Getting her done. All right, so we've got a brass replacement float coming for that 2-barrel Rochester carburetor. That'll be here Monday. And then we'll get the gasket kit or the rebuild kit for it as well. I can slap her back on, and she should be running Monday. I'm excited, but not. I'm glad I didn't have to swap out that intake manifold and carburetor. I didn't want to do that. Anyway, y'all have a good day. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. Anyone wants to come over Monday and help me put this on, that'd be excellent. But if not, I got her. All right. Bye.